Hello guys, hello. After a long time naman, makakapagbasa tayo ng aking libro. Dito pala ang aking salamin. Guys, napapansin nyo sa background ko may naiiba. Namiss ko na naman ang aking baby. Para akong ay nako, hindi maka-move on. Examination day kasi. Ay, no. Examination period. Kaya, hindi siya nakauwi nung weekend. Straight daw siya doon ngayon sa bahay niya, and then siguro by next week makauwi siya. Pati nga ang kanyang hamster ay na-miss niya rin. Hindi naman kasi pwedeng dalahin doon sa kanyang bahay. Kaya kagabi before I go to bed, mga 2 AM na siguro yun, tumawag pa siya sa akin. Sabi niya, "Mama, pa video naman nung hamster." Ay, nag-video call pala kami. Gusto niya makita yung hamster. Eh, syempre yung mga alaga niya na yun, kung kailan matutulog ang mga tao, sila naglalaro. Kaya, gising ang kanyang dalawang hamster. Tuwang-tuwa siya. Nakita niya ang kanyang alaga. Na-miss niya. Mas na-miss niya yung alaga niya kaysa sa amin eh. Sabay ganun. Kabiter naman ni ate. Siya si ate Kion ang pangalan niya. Kion. Tapos yung English name niya is Pearl Joy. Pearl Joy, PJ. And yung picture na yan is yung graduation nila, nasa graduation album nila nung high school last year. Ayan, wala akong makitang yan na lang, at medyo hardbound siya. Isa lang. Yung doon sa album, talagang siya, hindi pwedeng, ay pati yung album dadalhin mabigat. Yan, mag-isa lang talaga siya. Kaya, yan, nandyan siya ngayon, si Lady Kion. Naku guys, if kung mga mama din kayo or mom like me, makaka-relate kayo sa feeling ko. Yung mga parents dyan. Shoutout sa mga parents dyan. Sabi. Pinapanood ko naman na video, sa aking harapan ay ang videos ni Ma'am Alice Arroyo. Doon sa kabila, pinaghiwalay ko yung mga alagad kasi nag-aagawan sila ng signal. Nandoon sa sala si Ma'am Hinupa. Kasi yung nandoon sa sala, gamit naman ng anak kong dalaga yung kanyang tablet, kaya nasa sala. Ay nako. Doon kasi naka-charge. Natapos na pala ang aking holy song. I want to read the Mother of Peace book. Para ito yung matatapos ko rin kasi we have to mayroon kami nitong cover to cover na book marathon. Mayroon kami nitong ibig sabihin, mayroon kaming gift sa aming tatay sa simbahan. Yung mga pero kahit walang gift, I really love to read this book naman. Mag-play pa ako ng isang song po. Sana kaya yung aking paboritong yung background ay instrumental lang siya. I love those instrumental holy song. Sana makuha ko. Andito siya guys. Yes. Ay hindi. It's not. Ano ba yan? Hindi ito. Naka-front lang pala yun. That's only the picture last time. Where are you? Pakita ko na my holy song. My favorite holy song. Nasaan ka? Magpakita ka. Pakita ka na. para matapos na tayo sa test ngayong araw. Please, labas. Ayan, lumabas din. Ay, bakit lumakas to? Ayan. Heart of the Father song. Paborito ko rin po yung song na yan. And now I'll be reading yung An Enemy Becomes a Friend from Mother of Peace book. In 1946, the year after the restoration of Korean independence, Father Moon was arrested while evangelizing in the North Korea. The police accused him of being a spy for South Korean President Syngman Rhee and locked him in the Daedong Detention Center in Pyongyang. His captors severely tortured him and threw what they thought was his dead body out onto the snow. His followers found him and in grief began preparing his funeral. Of course, Father Moon did not die. He clung onto the life, and with the help of their prayers and herbal medicines, astonishingly, he revived. A year later, Father Moon was arrested again and incarcerated in Hangnam special labor camp under a regime of forced labor at the nearby Hungnam nitrogen fertilizer factory. For 2 years and 8 months, he suffered indescribable hardships. It was an environment in which most prisoners died of malnutrition and physical exhaustion within 6 months. As this was taking place, my mother and maternal grandmother also were imprisoned by the communist police for our religious beliefs and practices. They were released after much hardship. I have already recounted our separation from the rest of our family, our escape in 1948 with the help of my uncle, and our arduous journey to the south. Over the subsequent decades, the North Korea government continued to treat us as its enemies. My husband and I have been carrying a victory over communism activities throughout the world, and we received information that the North Korean leader Kim Il-sung wanted to assassinate us. Our members' 7-day public fast and their end prayer across the street from the United Nations in 1974 publicized the plight of Japanese women held captive in North Korea. In June 1975, shortly after the fall of Saigon, we held the World Rally for the Korean Freedom, which brought over 1.2 million people to Yoido Plaza in Seoul to stand strong against communism. Yes, yung ngayon, yung Yoido Plaza in Seoul nowadays, naku, ang daming mga tourists na nagsisipagpuntahan, guys. Ano yon? 4 season yon. Grabe, niyang place, napakaganda. With neither fear nor anger, my husband and I prayed ceaselessly for reconciliation between North and South Korea. We were not responsible for the division of the Korean peninsula, but we took responsibility for its peaceful reunification. We have always felt that ending the conflict on the Korean peninsula would turn to the world toward peace. Hence, after returning from our meeting with Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, we decided that we would have to meet Chairman Kim Il-sung of North Korea. We set a goal by the end of 1991. For more than 40 years, my husband and I had been unable to return to our hometowns. Through the 1980s, we taught our principles in every corner of the world, but we couldn't go to the North Korea, which is only an hour's flight from Seoul. It was the same for all displaced Koreans who had ended up the North and South after the Korean War. Nothing can alleviate the longing and anguish that results from the inability to visit one's hometown, especially when it is so near. Nonetheless, The reason my husband and I wanted to go to North Korea was not to visit our hometowns and relatives, even though we missed them dearly. In fact, the experiences we had been in the North would lead most people never to want to set foot there. Oh guys, talaga maraming mga North Koreans na they want to escape from that country papunta dito sa South. And marami silang pinagdadaanan. Bago pa sila makapunta dito, they have to go to other country, magkukross ng other country bago sila pupunta ng Korea. Ang dami. Dahil doon sa ano nila, yung communism na nagte-takes place. And maraming mga family talaga yung nagkahiwa-hiwalay dahil sa sa Cold War ng Korean Peninsula. Yung ibang family na iwanan dito sa South, yung iba naman na nakapunta sa North, and up until now, ang iba hindi pa nagkita-kita. Pero there are times na may panahon na they can talk to each other pag mayroong isang day na free ang bawat family na magkita-kita sa sa border. Yun lang ang pinakakaantay-antay ng bawat family na yung mga nagkahiwalay na once a year they can meet each other over minsan sa lang sa lunch ganyan. Yun lang ang panahon na they can enjoy. Grabe. The determination we made to go to North Korea seemed an impossible dream. North Korea would not even allow groups of journalists from the West to enter, but we continued our sincere prayers of forgiveness and reconciliation, and had our members reach out to North Korea in any way possible, believing that God could take away out of no way. In answer to our prayers in mid-November 1991, while in the United States, a courier brought us a sealed invitation. We opened it in a private, addressed to us personally. It stated that the chairman Kim Il-sung was inviting us to visit North Korea. Without informing our staff our ultimate destination, we packed our clothes and departed for our church workshop center in Hawaii. Our family and personal staff were curious. It's warm in Hawaii, they said, but you are packing winter clothes. Arriving in Hawaii, my husband and I lived at the workshop site and concentrated our minds in prayer. Before setting foot in North Korea, we had to resolve any painful feelings knotted up in our hearts. We have to forgive Kim Il-sung, whose regime had hurt the nation and world, not to mention our extended family and ourselves. If we had thought of him only as our enemy, we could not have forgiven him. Only in the position of his parents, only with the heart of his mother, and I can forgive. To save her son sentenced to death, a mother will even seek to change the laws of her country. That is what the maternal heart is like. With that heart, I pledge to forgive my enemy. I did not pray for our safe return from North Korea. Those were serious hours in which we offered endless prayers, just as Joshua circled Jericho 7 times. We went around the big island of Hawaii again and again, offering our sincerest commitment to heaven. Only after we had dissolved all the buried pain did my husband and I inform those who needed to know that we were on our way to North Korea. Those around us expressed the natural reactions. You are going to the place that is controlled by your enemy. It's extremely dangerous. Completely different from going to Moscow. There is no Western or South Korean embassy there, no protection whatsoever. Whatever the letter said, there's no way Kim Il-sung will allow you to enter unless he's planning to keep you there forever. Though spoken out of concern for our well-being, such works tempted us to dwell on our private feelings and fears. Yet we knew that we had to truly forgive North Korean leader Kim Il-sung and embrace him with unconditional love, no matter the risk. We identified with Jacob's offering everything he had, going at the risk of his life to meet with his brother Esau. What intended to kill him, or who intended to kill him? After enduring 21 years of indescribable hardships while maintaining sincere devotion to his brother who hated him, Jacob gained the heavenly wisdom necessary to win Esau's heart. To change an enemy into a friend is truly impossible without the heart of a sincere parent. A few days later, with our minds clear and hearts resolved in unity, my husband and I, with a small staff, flew to Beijing. As we were stepping into the airport waiting room in Beijing, a North Korean representative appeared and handed us an official invitation. The document carried Pyongyang's official seal. On November 30, our group headed to North Korea on Chosun Airlines special aircraft JS-215, sent by Chairman